Hi, I'm a regular crypto nerd who's ridden more roller coaster markets than I care to admit. And like anyone, I hate seeing my portfolio in free fall. I felt that punch in the gut panic, you know, the oh no, everything's going to zero vibe. So why on earth was I almost calm about holding Cardano during the last crash? To figure it out, I went on a little adventure, digging through forums, chatting with fellow ADA holders in our free educational Discord. Yep, link is in the description if you want to join that awesome community and read everything I could about Cardano's design, and what I found is kind of astonishing. It turns out Cardano isn't your typical cryptocurrency. It's like a tortoise in a race full of horses, slow and steady maybe, but built to outlast those sudden drops that send other crypto projects tumbling. By the end of this story, you'll see why some folks, including myself, believe Cardano ADA could survive just about any crypto crash. And no, this isn't some blind fanboy thing. I've got actual reasons, some hard facts, a dash of personal story, and even a plot twist or two. So let's get to it. Let's go. You know those moments in crypto where your heart is pounding, your hands are hovering over the sell button? I had one of those during the last big downturn. Think back to that ugly crash when a bunch of coins went poof. One of those grab the 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗍 days. I remember staring at ADA's price. It was down like everything else, and I was this close to panic selling. My inner monologue was like, is ADA really any different? Am I about to watch this thing go to zero? I even jumped into Discord servers, panic room channels. Yes, I actually have one named just that, where folks freak out. But interestingly, a lot of ADA holders there were surprisingly chilled. They kept saying Cardano's built for the long term, man. This is what it's made for. Honestly, I thought they were just coping until I started digging into the reasons why they might be right. So first, the nerdy but most important stuff. Cardano Foundation. I found out Cardano was basically born in a science lab. Okay, not literally, but hear me out. Most crypto projects start with a flashy white paper and a move fast and break things vibe. Cardano did the opposite, and I think we need to be quite clear on that. The team took a first principle approach, meaning they broke down what blockchain should be, question by question, and built it from scratch with peer-reviewed academic research. Yeah, they actually had scholars writing papers about Cardano before it was even built, and other experts tried, I should say, to poke holes in those papers. It's like they invited the world's nerdiest peer review committees to attack their idea so that the final product would be super solid. I stumbled on an article noting that Cardano's being built as a mission critical system, meaning to never fail. Think about that for a moment. They're anticipating that one day hundreds of millions of people might rely on Cardano ADA. So failure is not an option. That mindset affects every design choice. No wonder these guys in Discord were so chill. Cardano gives off a steady bridge vibe, while some other projects feel like flimsy rope bridges, that sway in the wind, right? I want to be clear on that. And get this, Cardano's been running for over 5 years without any major outage. Seriously, it's had 100% uptime so far. Compare that to, say, Solana, which, don't get me wrong, I like for some things, but Solana's had more outages than I have fingers. Ethereum had a brief hiccup in 2023 around the time it merged to proof of stake, but Cardano It's like the Energizer Bunny of blockchain, just keeps ticking, no network downtime, no oops, we had to hit the off switch and reboot moments. The facts alone made my jaw drop. I was like, okay, maybe there's something fundamentally resilient here. Cardano's approach of measure twice, cut once, or actually more like measure 10 times, verify with formal methods, the getting a PhD to sign it off and then cut, means when chaos hits, the core tech is unlikely to break in ways that we've seen with many others. Now let's talk about community and governance, because tech is only one part of the story. One big reason projects die in crashes is everyone loses faith and leaves the ecosystem. Developers pack up, funds dry out, communities vanish. Cardano has some ninja moves to counter that. I found out that the project's catalyst, which is basically a decentralized innovation fund, ADA holders can participate or propose projects and vote to fund them from Cardano's treasury. Yes, Cardano has a treasury like a squirrel storing an acorn for winter. Every time a block is being made, a little bit of ADA goes into the treasury, fueled by a portion of new issuance and fees. That money is there, spectacularly to keep the ecosystem growing no matter what the market is doing. So even if price is tanking and investors are crying, Cardano can still bankroll new developers or developments, pay devs to improve the network, fund cool dApps, all that good stuff. It's like having a stash of canned food and a survival gear when the apocalypse hits. You hunker down and keep going. Many other projects, crypto projects, rely purely on VC money or token sales. When those dry up in the crash, it's game over. I'll give you an example that's real. During the depth of the last bear market, when a lot of crypto teams were lying low or just disappearing, to be quite frank, Cardano was hard at work upgrading. They rolled out smart contracts in the 𝗗𝗀𝘀𝗰𝗍 era, worked on scaling with the 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗍 era, and prepared for governance changes with Voltaire, all funded in part by that treasury and the incredible dedication of the community. Over 3,000 stake pool operators and thousands of developers worldwide kept at it in the bear market. Even when ADA's price was, shall I say, in the gutter, that's the resilience of Cardano. It's not just one CEO or a core team, carrying Cardano. ADA, it's a whole swarm of people that have their say. There's actually a system now for community elected representatives. They call them D-Reps, and the Constitutional Committee in development for governance. Sounds fancy, but the takeaway is Cardano is aiming to be fully decentralized in decision making. No single point of failure. Not even the founder of a project like some others can really run off a cliff and that be the end of the project. In fact, Charles Hoskinson, Cardano founder, can rant on Twitter all he likes. Ultimately, the community will have the final vote on changes. That's a safety net, if you ask me. Speaking of Charles, I came across something he said that hit me right in the chest. He basically framed Cardano's mission like this: we want a new system where the richest person and the poorest person both use it, and both are better off than under the old system. I'm paraphrasing, but wow, think about that ambition. It's not just about let's make number go up. It's about building a financial operating system that everybody can participate on. One that outlasts fads and survives bad times because it's actually useful. I know it sounds a bit, ominous, but if, matters even evaluating resilience, projects chasing short-term hype often crumble in a crash because of the hype dying. Cardano is playing the long game. aims to be, around far longer than 5, 10 years, maybe even decades, actually serving real needs. If you've got time, Google Cardano's Ethiopia project. They're helping create a blockchain ID system for students, real people using Cardano tech to secure their credentials, and that's just one example. There are many. There's a supply chain project, even talks of Cardano-based solutions in agriculture and finance in developing countries. This stuff doesn't vanish just because the market dips. If anything, the broader bear market is exactly when such real-world use cases should shine, because they're not about speculation. For me, learning about that was huge. It flipped the switch, seeing Cardano ADA not just as another altcoin, seeing it something a bit more with a lot of soul, if that makes sense. Now, I did promise you a bit of a personal adventure vibe, so let me not just rattle off facts. Picture this: I'm sat at my computer at 2 a.m, that is a normal day, doom scrolling through Reddit and Twitter as price tanks. My coffee's gone cold, I've got that nervous knot in my stomach. I open my exchange. I use a couple, but recently I've been using 𝗗𝗀𝘀𝗰𝗍 for some trades. By the way, my affiliate link is in the description of the video. If you wish to use it, it does support the channel. Just for full disclosure, I'm literally hovering over the sell ADA button on 𝗗𝗀𝘀𝗰𝗍, thinking maybe I should cut my losses. Meanwhile, I see a message pop up from a buddy. Dude, are you selling or holding? We go back and forth for some time. He's more of a trader type and was on BitGet doing short-term moves. Yep, you've got an affiliate link for BitGet too in the description of the video. Also supports the channel. So he's doing his thing, but even he says, actually, I'm keeping my ADA bag off any exchange. It's staked and I'm not touching it. He staked with the cheek pull, just for clarity. That surprised me though when he said this, because this friend usually has no loyalty to any project, not a single altcoin. When I asked why, he basically echoed what I'd been saying throughout this video. Cardano's built different, he joked. ADA is like my savings account. Everything else is play money. Coming from him, I was like, plot twist. Right then, I did something that might shock some people. I closed the 𝗗𝗀𝘀𝗰𝗍 app. I did not hit sell. Instead, I went to my wallet and I staked more Cardano ADA with the pull cheek, CHEEK. I doubled down during the crash. I know, big no-no in classic investing if you think something's fundamentally broken, but that's just it. I realized Cardano ADA wasn't broken. The price was dropping mostly because the whole market was in panic mode, not because Cardano had failed. In fact, it was still producing blocks like clockwork, communities still building, no rug pulls, none of that drama. If anything, more ADA got staked that week because folks were scooping up cheap Cardano ADA, at least in their views and their opinion, and locking it up. Over 70% of all Cardano ADA was, and still is, staked, which is absolutely wild. That high staking rate means that ADA holders are in it for the long haul. Their coins are bound to the network security. It's a bit like a mutual trust. We hold and stake ADA, and in return the network rewards us. And because so much is staked, there's less liquid ADA flooding around the exchanges during crashes, which can mean less insane volatility. Not saying ADA doesn't drop. Oh, it can drop, trust me. But the dynamics are slightly different when a majority isn't even on the market to be sold instantly. Now here's the thing, I'm sounding pretty bullish on Cardano's resilience, but I need to level with you. It's not magic. ADA's price can and does crash in market downturns, absolutely. Being resilient isn't about never dipping, it's about surviving and coming back. It's really about the chain not imploding, the community not abandoning ship, the builders not giving up, and by those particular measures, Cardano has an impressive track record so far. But, and this is the big but, cue the record scratch sound effect in your head. This might shock you, but I'm not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and you could lose all of your money you invest. Always do your own research, consult a qualified professional. Your investments are entirely your responsibility, and you should know that nothing is guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I or the channel nor YouTube are liable for any losses. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Trust me, I needed to say that, even though my mum would, go absolutely nuts at me if I tried to give you financial advice. Okay, disclaimer, I should say, done. Let's carry on. So there I was, crash raging outside like a storm, and oddly zen. And I've got to say it, clicking stake instead of sell, that was the moment it hit me. I actually believe Cardano could weather this storm. It was almost an emotional moment. I know, don't laugh. Not because, of blind hope, but because all the dots connected. The rigorous development, the treasury, the governance, and the community of stakers, the real-world projects, it all clicked into this narrative. Cardano was built for this and can weather the storm. The idea that some things get stronger from stress each crypto winter Cardano's been through, it seems to emerge with more features, more adoption, and a community that's even more hardened from the bear market. I remember in 2008, after the ICO mania died, Cardano's price was crushed, like down 95% from the peak. Absolutely brutal. If you were there, let me know in the comments, and let me know how it felt. Many thought it was dead back then, but during that quiet time, they were plugging away, researching, slowly implementing Shelley, which brought decentralization of staking. Come the next bull run, ADA was not only alive, it was hitting new highs, right? New all-time highs. Then 2022 came, another massacre in crypto. ADA fell from over $3 at its peak in 2021 to the low of about 25 cents, something to that point. I mean, ouch, right? But did the project die? No, it didn't. Fast forward to now, 2025, Cardano has smart contracts running, thousands of dApps and NFTs, side chains, even a fast layer 2 called Hydra, showing crazy high throughput in tests. The community is gearing up for full-on on-chain governance, if I can get my words out, with the upcoming changes that we saw with Voltaire era. They even secured a hefty $71 million funding for future development of cool upgrades like 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗰𝗍, Laos, Hydra, and Mithril to make the infrastructure even stronger. That's like reinvesting in better storm defenses, in my opinion, while the sun is shining. So the next time a storm comes or a big crash, even less to worry about in theory. Honestly, I had a realization that night. While everyone else was panic selling, I was picking a side in a story. The story of the tortoise and the hares, right? Cardano is the tortoise. It's not the fastest mover, and sometimes the crypto bro memes about how long it takes to deliver updates. Cardano's slow jokes, I see them all the time. But when the race is long, and crypto, if you zoom out, is a long race, the tortoise strength starts to make a lot of sense. Sure, I still hold and enjoy other projects. I'm not an ADA only maxi or anything like that, but ADA turned into one I feel very comfortable telling my grandma about or holding for the future grandkids, college funds and stuff like that. At this point, Cardano earned a different kind of trust from me. Do you feel the same? I never thought I'd be that guy on YouTube singing the praises of a coin's resilience. I'm usually a skeptic, but here I am, not to hype, but to share why I didn't flinch when ADA was plummeting along with the rest of the crypto market. Cardano taught me a life lesson in crypto. Fundamentals matter. In a frenzy, fundamentals are like a life vest. Cardano's design philosophy, that slow, peer-reviewed, steady approach, acted like my life vest in rough waters. Its governance and community gave me confidence that even if the price got wrecked, the project wouldn't become a ghost town the next morning. And the real-world uses and long-term vision that is kind of like the anchor keeping me from drifting into the abyss, right? Now obviously I could be wrong, absolutely. Maybe no crypto truly survives the test of time if something catastrophic happens, but from where I stand, Cardano has a fighting chance as any, arguably more so given everything we just discussed. So next time the market does a nosedive, I won't tell you what to do. I mean, you heard the disclaimer, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll brew some nice green tea, hop on our Discord to, chat with people, particularly the new folks. Seriously, we have a great community in the free educational Discord, link below in the description of the video if you want to learn about crypto and chill with us. And I'll keep an eye on Cardano, not with fear, but, with confidence, quiet confidence. It's the kind of nice not to feel sheer terror for once when the market graph turns red. Cardano might not make millionaires overnight. Heck, it probably won't. But it gives you, or it gives me, I should say, this sense of durability, and that has become way more important to me than the wild gains. It's like owning a house built on solid foundations versus a tent in an open field with very windy weather. It's one of those things, you know what I mean? All right, if you made it this far, thanks for hearing my story out until the end and obviously my analysis. I hope it gave you a new perspective and at least something to think about the next time the crypto market decides to go bananas. Cardano isn't only a project with strong fundamentals, but in my personal example of one that feels built to survive. And in the world where we're seeing many project crypto experiments implode, because we see this a lot, and rug pulls, that's pretty darn cool. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.